faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. I want to ask you today a question. What makes you a human? The fish, the animals, they were made to function by instinct. Only we as humans are asked to have faith. So faith actually makes you human. When you don't have faith, you act inhumane. I want to ask you today, how many people have you seen who act inhumane? Because they don't have faith in the one that the Bible says the only way to please Him is when you come to Him, and by faith you begin to see the invisible, because the invisible has to become your new normal of living as though it is visible. And see, when our visible is much more real to us, we lose sight of what we actually hope for. Because to hope for, you have to be able to see the invisible. There is a really good quote that I want to say by Erwin McManus, and it's actually 2 paragraphs. When you have more confidence in what you presently have, you have less confidence in the things you hope for. The second part of that quote is, when you cannot see the invisible, you become blind to the visible. Because the invisible you need is on the other side of the visible. I want you to think about that for a quick moment. You don't have to become more supernatural to please God. You have to become more natural to walk by faith to please God. So every single day when you wake up and you say, I don't know if I have enough faith, I want to tell you this: you were originally made to carry faith inside of you. And faith is born inside of you when hope arrives on the scene. And all of a sudden, when hope is there, it's like the rope that God pulls in the middle of the darkness while you're in the dungeon, most pitiful, feeling sorry for you, not knowing where you're going. And God says, here is the rope of hope. And it grabs you and it pulls you out of that pitiful moment, and it bursts forth in faith so that you can begin to see the invisible, and that becomes your new reality that you begin to live with. This happened shortly after communism fell down. Missionaries came to Russia. They went to one of the orphanages and they were sharing the story of the birth of Jesus with the kids. And they shared how He came. He was born in a manger to Mary and Joseph, and how He had to come and die for us. And they just went through the whole story. And then they asked the kids to draw a picture of Jesus as a baby in a manger. And little Misha began to draw, and he was so proud when he was done with his picture. And the missionary came over and looked at him, and he was a little puzzled because there were 2 babies lying in the manger. And so he said, Misha, can you tell me why there are 2 babies in a manger right here? Because there should be only one. And Misha looked at him, all proud of his drawing, and he starts to explain the whole story just like the missionary had said. And he comes to the part where he said, and as I was drawing Jesus in the manger, he looked up at me and he said, Misha, do you have a mama or a papa? And I said, no, Jesus, I don't have anybody. And then Jesus said to me, that's okay. I will be your new home. You can come here in the manger with me and lie down, and I will be your mama and your papa, and you will never be alone again. And so little Misha drew himself right there next to baby Jesus in a manger. Isn't that a powerful story of how hope and faith works? And that's why the Bible says we have to become like children. That our faith connects with God in such a childlike faith that hope is resurrected even in our most lonely, alone, desperate moments. To know that Jesus came so that you and I can jump in the manger with Him. That you don't have to be ever alone. That is the message of Christmas. That is the message that carries hope in the middle of a world full of hopelessness.